Hello, um, Harold here. Crazy Mountain 100 training week. Oh gosh, 20. It's technically what day is today? Two, 2.5 days before the race. 6 a.m. start. We're here in Bozeman at the Bozeman Hot Springs, and finished up last week. I had my final run. It was great. So here we go. What did we do last week? Last week we did a cycle bar class on last Monday. I just did gentle spinning and did some stretching. It was a really good class. Felt good since we've been traveling so much to get a little motion in the legs. You can see the camera's moving. I don't know if the camera's moving. Here we go. Anyhow, that was really fun. That was in Bismarck, North Dakota. And then we got the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, which was really, really cool. Tons of prairie dogs, and we got to see some bison the second day. We had an amazing sunset when we showed up. That was pretty incredible. And then it was spritzy, raining-ish, coolish, which was great because it was 86 or 87 the day before. It was a little bit warm. So we made our way up this, we wanted to do one hike, and they said the mud was just going to be so bad, it's a bad idea to hike that hike, to go hike this other hike up by a creek, stream, whatever. It was still amazingly muddy. It was hilarious. It wasn't terribly slippy because the mud ended up just sticking to itself, but every, 15 feet you'd grow 3 inches. You'd fling it off and step to the side and kind of drop 2 inches off. We had a good hike. That was really fun. Left Theodore Roosevelt National Park that about noonish, 2ish, and made our way to Red Lodge. God, where's Red Lodge? Is that in? We're right on the border of Montana and Wyoming. It's in one of those states. We're like right on the border town, which is at the base of the Bearstooth Highway, which is one of the most famous highways in the world for driving motorcycles on and cars, and just go there and do that road sometime. We got out, you couldn't see more than 30 feet because of the fog and the mist, and we kept going up in elevation, which peaks out at 10,900 on the road. It started to break a little bit once we got over the pass and the other side of the mountain, and it became started to clear up a little bit. Stopped in at the Top of the World store. Luckily there were no motorcyclists there like it was last time when I came. Just a handful of people that early in the morning. We made our way down to Bearstooth Lake, and there's it said it was 7.8 miles loop that you go up a big long drain, and you go around a bit of the lake, several stream crossings, which were really fun. And that whole drain is nothing but a wildflower meadow. Like you could just take a picture. If you grabbed like a handful of flowers and cut them off, you'd have that's what decorators want the flower arrangement to look like. Just incredible. Slowly made our way up that. We weren't pushing or doing anything hard. We were having a good time, stopping, moving up, taking a bite to eat, looking back at where we've come from. But we made steady progress up the hill. It was a 1,800 foot climb from where we were, and we peaked out at almost 9,700 feet. So it was nice to know what I felt like, which is going to happen in the race. It was about the exact same kind of hike. So good to feel what that felt like. And that was only the second day we'd really been in elevation, third day, and that was definitely the highest we had been yet. It is noticeable. You hike back around, and then you keep coming just Alpine Lake after Alpine Lake after Alpine Lake, conifers, rocks, spectacular beauty. Had a really enjoyable time. The weather held up amazingly. The sun started poking out, and you could see really nice long distances from some of the little viewpoints we got. Left there, headed out through West Yellowstone that same day, making our way to Yellowstone Hot Springs, where we stayed 2 nights at, and got to drive through West Yellowstone, where we saw a bear within 15 minutes of entering the park. At least 1,000 bison. No joke, at least 1,000 bison. One coyote that looked like it had an incident with a larger wild animal or a vehicle. It was kind of hobbling around. It was just making its way across the road in the middle of everybody. What else was it? Oh my gosh. Elk, pronghorn, and this was all in just a couple miles of the road. It was really wild. Made it to the next destination, Yellowstone Hot Springs. Great little hot springs place. We had a cabin, walk across the street. It's got 3 different big pools, hot and a cold, and a medium big pool. Had a great 2 days there, doing pretty much nothing else but sitting in the water and enjoying some sun and whatnot. I did like my last 5-mile run. I just needed to stretch my legs out and go at my pace, and that was really good. Felt really nice, moving the legs at a little faster speed than I had in like a week and a half. Nothing crazy, like not even pushing it, but the heart rate stayed really well. That was very nice to feel that I was that slight adjustment to the altitude. More hot tub time. Woke up the next morning and we went back to Mammoth Hot Springs early in the morning and got out and did a just over 6 mile hike. Saw absolutely no one except the 5-team crew who was out there doing trail summer work on the trail. Just asked them if they saw anybody. They said, no, we probably won't see anybody all day. We saw elk in the wild at the respectable, approachable distance where, we didn't freak out that they were close. They really didn't freak out that we were close. They kind of just stood there, walked a little bit, 1 or 2 gave a little jogs, and then just stopped and checked us out while we walked through. Beautiful hike, got back, had picnic lunch, and there were like 30 cars when we got there in all of the parking lots in Mammoth area. When we got back, there were 8 spots left in the whole parking area. It was a good time. Got back, left Yellowstone Hot Springs, and got to our next resort, which was Chico Hot Springs, a little further up 89, just following the Yellowstone River up and out of the valley. That was really nice. Big pool, smaller hot pool. We ate a buffet breakfast one morning, and just lots of lounging around. We did a picnic. We drove up Pine Creek Road to the Pine Falls waterfall trailhead. We did make it all the way to the trailhead, whatever. It was a long dirt road that got us up to like 100 feet. Stayed there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Came back down, go high, sleep low kind of deal. Yeah, really great time at the lodge. Had a garden tour. Their garden is really, really amazing. They've done a great job on all the vegetables for the garden and whatnot. So really fun place to stay. We stayed there 3 nights. We had some of the most amazing brisket from Follow Your Nose. White Flour Bakery makes these. I'm gonna keep one of the cookies to use in the race because they're flourless. granola trail mix cookie. It's insane. And then I did my last 5-mile run on Sunday to finish out all of my training that's officially on the books. You know, this being the 8x11 sheet of paper with lines and squiggly stuff on it, books. 5 miles. And just had a really beautiful morning. It was 50 degrees when I got my run in, completely in the shade of the mountainside as the sun was coming up. It was very crisp feeling, so that was good to feel what that felt like again, because that's what probably we're going to run into in the race, is that good crisp 50-degree feeling somewhere probably a little lower at the higher elevations if you're closing in past midnight. So that said, last week I did 28.6 miles of 29 that I had on my books, which I feel really good about being on vacation. Taper did well, you know, feel really good about that. So I finish off all of the training. Starting at 0, we did 863.4 miles of training. Amazing. So, yeah, this week we'll roll into what I'm doing this week. Oh yeah, Chico, we laid out all the stuff poolside. They had a little up area that had a table. All the drop bags laid out. I had already put my clothing in from home that I'm, you know, don't care about if it happens that I never see it again, or, you know, whatever happens. To put all those clothes in those already, and then proceeded to go through all of the calories that I'm taking, any other assemblage of stuff that if my crew never shows up, I can continue on with all the kit that I need. That was super fun. We took a break after an hour, went and sat in the pools again for like 35 minutes, and came back and did about another hour of that. My wife Jen, she's crew chief, so she was going over all of her notes, making sure that the maps were correctly on the correct page for all the driving directions, putting notes that we had listened to several podcasts, and we're giving some good advice on this, that, and the other about certain aid stations and how that can work, and writing down just her end of the list of like what her schedule and her day looks like. What she's gonna do for food for her and her crew, for her and the crew that's coming out. What she needs to do with the Pacers, who needs to go where and when she's asleep, what needs to happen then. So it was a really good working afternoon. Then we got to drive up to Bozeman, and we met our daughter up here. She's been on a week vacation out here with some friends before, and we picked her up, and we're now at the Bozeman cabin here in the Bozeman Hot Springs, and just continuing to do stuff that's seemingly important. Like, finally went out and got my bear spray and figured out how to put the bear spray on the bag, so it's super convenient and easy. This is the 8.1 ounce assault, whatever. Oh yeah, counter assault bear spray. Picked it up at REI, picked up the little holster at REI, and got these little rubberized twist ties that I think they're called Night Z's twist ties, that I've always wanted the reusable hardcore attachment stuff, and attached right across the back of my thing so it doesn't flop around or go anywhere, and all I have to do is literally reach back, pull the tab, and pull it out, and it just one fail swooping motion, and that keeps my front open for my electrolytes and everything else I'm used to. Whereas this is something I'm not used to. It can live back there and still be useful. There you go. That's that week and most of this week. Love it. We're here. Yeah. Enjoy. Looking forward to seeing everybody else out there. So if you followed along for the 21 weeks of me talking to a camera about myself doing things. I thank you a lot. I appreciate any of the comments that I've got. Appreciate the little like signs that I've got. I'm just going to go out and do my best. We have a plan, and we'll continue working on that plan until I need to answer another question, yes. So, and the plan changes, and then just keep going on. Until then, it'll be me talking during the race. Maybe I'll do another one like Thursday or something with some of the crew around. All right, y'all. Peace.